Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Lisa. So as you've seen in the title, we are doing a DIY. Now, the DIY is a life palette or Z-Pallette. I've had this for a long time. There's things that you can do to improve upon it, which I'm going to try and do this time. So, yeah. So here's the supplies you're going to need. Let's get right at this because I don't know how long this video is going to be. So, 1,000 subscribers again, you know, it's great, you know. So, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, share it. So, let's get right at this. So, what you're going to need is a foam board. I got the Elmer's. It is 20 by 30 by 3/16 thick. I think I paid like $4 for it. And so it's a bigger one, you know. Yeah, I've already cut into it. I like these because it makes them more sturdy. And if you're thinking stocking stuffers, you could probably get 5 out of this. Then the next thing you'll need is one of these. It's a magnetic photo pocket. Let's see if I can get this open real quick. It's got a little sleeve thing on it. You see? Pull the paper out of it. You got to tear that off. So best way to do it is just rip it off. There's a little seam at the top and the bottom. Take your X-Acto knife, which I've got, and you just cut right along that. So you got a nice straight line. And then you can use hot glue gun, or where'd it go to? I don't know where my super glue went to. I'm going to use super glue. Now, I also got duct tape, is what I make these out of. So, the one today, I'm going to make it here and here. Now, on this one here, I used the sparkly one, which I like. If you're going to use this, you'll need super glue to tag down the ends because this stuff does not like to bend and stick tight around the corners. So, super glue it is on that. Yeah. Let's see here, what else? This here, I got some of this as well. I suspect it's going to be kind of like that sparkly stuff, and it doesn't like to stick, so hence the super glue, if I can find my bottle of super glue. So, yeah. Now, if you're wondering where I'm wearing on my face for makeup, there'll be I'll post the video here. It's my last video. And if you think I'm wearing the same makeup and the same shirt, I am. I'm starting this filming same day. So, are you ready to make a Z-Pallette? I think it's held up really good for me, considering I just made this up out of my head because, yeah, I didn't like the CD cases and stuff. They look cheap, you know. And this here, you can decorate it up and make it fit your own. So, let's get right at this. Don't forget to subscribe. Here we go. So, find yourself a table that you can cut on and everything like that. So, what you do is you'll need a good straight edge. I've got one of these quilter things. And you may want a cutting mat underneath, but this table is one that, well, you know. So what you do is measure out 21 inches by 4 inches. You want to make sure you get this nice and square. Then you take this, because each piece is 7 inches. Okay? Once you get that cut out, use a good sharp X-Acto knife. You will take this here. And don't mind my ratchet fingernails, please. My fingernail polish. They need to be redone. Okay? So, on this here, what you will do is measure around a 1/2 inch. Okay? Now let me get you zoomed in a little bit so you can see a little bit better here on what I've done. Okay, so what I've done is cut this centerpiece out. Keep a hold of that. That's this here. So that was in there. Very carefully cut around. So you've got that, right? Keep this because it's going to be part of your flappy thing that folds over to close it. Now, I have thought about this. You could probably decoupage it, but you're still going to need the duct tape in order to make your hinges so they last. Now for your magnet, you take that magnetic photo thing, set this on a corner, cut around it. It should be square fitting good because you've already got two sides here. So we've got that. And you may want to double check to make sure it just sits down in there. Good. Yep. That'll work. Now to do the hinges on these here, long ones, and you'll want to make sure that this all fits nice and square and neat and everything together. Okay? Just like that there. Now to do this, you want all your edges finished off good. So you need to cover this edge and this edge, this edge, and this edge. And let me get my duct tape here. Where'd it go to? And be careful with these X-Acto knives because they are extremely sharp. Okay? Now I am using, I do believe this is black. So there's that. Now what I'm going to do is find the end. There it is. This stuff is sticky. Now you'll want to pull a length out that's a little bit longer than your end, and you cut it. Okay. Now what you'll want to do is cut this in half, or roughly around half. Now, I want to put this, you want to cover your edges. So we go like, oops, this here. Stick that down good. Fold this over good. It'll take a little bit of practice to get this right. Now you don't want to fold the whole thing over. Use a whole strip because you want to give this something to stick to. Press that around down there. Press it down really good. Now I trim that off and about that much off. It's actually a little bit long. trim a little edge there because I want to fold this down onto it, and this is the back side. Fold this down, fold it around. That way when you glue that down, it'll stick. Now the reason why you'll see two different colors is because of the design I'm going to do. You can get a little creative with this. I wanted that free edge finished off because there'll be a band of that goes here and here, and the flap will be that color. So we've got that. Now we have to figure out, we got to do our flap. So we want to go halfway. Go cut this in half. And this is 3 inches, so 1.5 inches. Give me 1.5 inches. Just cut that. And same thing with this, we need it narrower than that. So let's cut this and 1 inch long. Now let's go a little over 1 inch. Nope, let's do 1 inch. Whoops. I'll hold your work, Lisa. There we go. We'll need it just a little bit shorter than what this is. So that makes it about a little under 5 inches. Now, we're not going to deal with the flappy thing just yet. Let's get this hooked together. Okay? Now we don't want to glue that down just yet, but we need to get our distance here. So we take some black. Get a good strip of that out there. We want to leave it, give yourself a 1/2 inch or so on either side. Just so it'll just barely wrap up and around. Around the edge and thanks. So now we gotta put this down. Okay. And we want this to be even with this. Now you'll take a little bit more time with this and stuff than what I am, but now is this going to be enough that when you bring this up and around, we'll make sure you're even. When it opens, you don't want it tight. You want it to give a little bit. So, don't pull this tight around it. You want a little bit of room, because by the time you add more tape to it and everything, it'll take up more space. So, leave a little gap in it like that there. See how that's got a gap in there? Leave a little bit of a gap there. That might be a bit too much gap. You got to just work with a little bit. Okay. Now, because this will be sticky, which you don't want, take another strip of tape, lay that right along the edge, work that in there. Beauty of duct tape, it will tear. There you got your hinge. Okay? The hard part will be figuring out how much you got to have for give on that. So, now we got to work on our flap. Okay, so as you notice, I've done the edges on the flap. I cut my magnet, which was left over from the thing. Cut my two magnets out, so they'll stick together. Now to do this flap, it's kind of like doing your hinge back here, only you want it to come over just a little bit further. You know, so you can move it a little bit, tighten it, you know. Now this flap I'm going to make out of this here. We'll see. Now I'm only going to put just a tiny amount on it. Because I want to make sure there's enough of this to come all the way around onto, and we don't want it tight again. We want just a little bit of give to this thing. Okay. So we got that. We gotta take some more of this. Another strip. Gonna lay this in here so pattern side up. Let go of it. Get that edge right up next to that edge along there. So we don't have no nasty stickies. Cut up along there. Oops, I don't want that sticking there. Sometimes it's better to use a pair of scissors, because sometimes when this duct tape sticks, it sticks. Like that there. Fold that down, fold that down. Now let's see if I can get this off of here. Good angle there. Fold that edge up. Now, as you've seen, it kind of stuck together. So, just super glue it. There we go. So now we got our flap. Now we will, I'm going to take some duct tape, put along this edge here to finish this off, and then I will super glue this down. Just that little strip there. I think I'll just put one swipe across it, fold it over here. Now we don't want to fold it over too much. You don't want too much folded over, because the more, and you can use hot glue for this. Line it up on the edge there. There. Now I'm going to cut here, here, here. I got this one a little bit long. Fold that up over it. Now super glue this down. Super glue fixes everything. If it don't, then you need epoxy. Get that super glued down. Fold this up over. You want it to meet at the edge there. See how that one doesn't overlaps? We don't want to overlap. Just trim it off. Now we got to line up our magnet on the other side. And the best way to do that, you want to make sure it's not tight per se. Got to have a little bit of a gap here. If you notice, there's a little bit of a gap there. Go ahead and glue it. Let that sit for a minute. Okay. Now, we start wrapping with, let's do the bottom first. Now, what I'm going to do for a decorative is, let's do this black first. Now this one, I don't want a full strip in there, so I'm going to cut just a partial strip. Keep that other one there. I'm going to butt this up to it. And now I'm going to do this pink one. Trying to just eyeball it. There's the back is done. Let's go ahead and, now you can use a hot glue gun, you can use Wait a minute. Maybe.
You're saying maybe to me?
Yes. Okay. So you got that glued down. Okay, so that's super glued on. Now, to do the back side. Now on this one, I want to try and match up when I go to do this. So we gotta do, and I wrap all the way around. So I start here. Oops. Glue went flying. And you'll want to take a little more care with it. And like I did before, we gotta get long enough strip to go all the way around. Now this is the hard part. Ugh. Make sure you line up on the edge there. You don't want to go all the way. And even put it on your magnet, because you'll trim out and around it. There's that. Now you got to feel for your magnet. And there you go. And there's your Z-Pallette. A little bit decorative. You'll want to take some more time, and maybe you'll want to do, let's see here. And oh, we forgot the magnet, didn't we? Okay. So now we take the glue again. Squish down in there. There you go. Some of these in my old one I've glued in because they weren't magnetic. But that's when you take this here and glue it onto the back of one. There's your Z-Pallette. Hope you enjoyed watching. Have a wonderful day.